436847. That's 01484 436847. The family have said they're horrified after waking up to find 4 of their pets beaten to death. Mum Michelle Wood found the dead rabbits and guinea pigs lying on her doorstep on Monday morning. Police say it's the second attack of its type to take place on the Lupsit estate in Wakefield this month. Lisa Adlam has the story.
Michelle Wood woke up on Monday morning to find her children's pets dead and lying outside her back door. Their 2 rabbits and 2 guinea pigs had been taken from their hutches during the night and violently beaten to death.
And I opened back door, and his pets were just laid there dead. My kids' pets dead, gone. And don't know why. Black and white one called Guinness, cheeky little thing she was. And they did her that hard on back of her head, her eyeball had popped out. Oh, seriously, why? Why would you do that to a pet?
The attack has had a devastating effect on her young children, aged just 4 and 5.
I've been having bad nightmares about them, bad people killing them. They were nice and lovely, and I love them because they're my favourite pets.
It's the second time this has happened on the estate where the Woods live in Wakefield, and Michelle says she's too scared to get her children any more pets.
She asked me if we could have another rabbit, and then I explained to her, I said, well, we can't because we don't know if we can leave them in garden.
Now the family just hopes the people responsible can be caught.
Action once more. Senior officers believe there's a slim chance that she's still in the town. This morning, task force officers moved back into the area near her home to begin a new search of houses and nearby industrial premises. Included in that search, skips of rubbish accumulated over the holiday weekend. Police think that Sarah's abductor may have hidden or thrown away her clothing. Today, the man leading the hunt appealed once more for the public to help.
Now, you come up with a pair of shoes this morning very similar. What help do you hope these will give you?
Well, these are identical shoes, in as much as the same pattern, but of course the shoes that Sarah was wearing were very well worn indeed. If she has been abducted, these could have been since thrown away by the abductor. If she's been taken in a motor vehicle, they may well still be in the car. There could have been some struggle in the car and she could have lost the shoes. If that's the case, a passenger in the car since may have seen them.
So you're hoping that maybe you tell people to keep their eyes open, basically?
Yes, indeed. If anyone's seen these shoes, I would like to know about it.
The search is being coordinated from this mobile control room near Sarah's home. Morley Town Centre has been split into a grid pattern, and it's here that officers with local knowledge brief the search teams. Among them, the man who first heard of her disappearance. PC Stuart Pearson is community officer for this area, and he's frequently warned of the dangers to children left on their own. For him, like so many of his colleagues, this is no ordinary inquiry.
I think every community policeman would agree that, in a sense, you feel that any incident that happens on your beat is your responsibility. But then, the local schools have been spoken to on the dangers of speaking with strangers. But nevertheless, it has upset me personally to some extent, yes.
As the uncertainty remains, Sarah's distraught family can only wait for news. Her 26-year-old mother, who's expecting another child, has been under sedation since last week. Meanwhile, other families in the area now share the fear in this close-knit community.
I don't know. I think it's a bit... I think everybody's a little bit shocked with it being so near home, like, you know.
Worry for your own children?
Yes, yeah. I mean, you keep your eye on them a little bit more, you know, when they go out.
Well, I don't think anybody really wants to sort of let the children out at all, really. You know, I've been keeping me as much as possible, but it's impossible to keep me all the time, sort of thing.
I try not to go out, I just go down the road to my friends.
It's now nearly a week since 10-year-old Sarah Harper disappeared while on an errand to a shop near her home in Morley, near Leeds. Today, despite more intensive searching, the police said they were no nearer to discovering her whereabouts. But as Peter Pitt reports, they are giving increasing weight to the theory that she may have been abducted by someone she knew.
This morning, 6 days after Sarah's disappearance, police officers were back in force in the Peel Street area of Morley, more than 100 of them plus volunteers. In a mobile headquarters caravan, they were briefed for the most painstaking search yet of the area.
We've got a crew from the Leeds drainage outfit. They're going to go around with some of our officers and lift all the manhole covers.
If Sarah was, as the police now believe possible, abducted by someone she knew who lived locally, they hope their fingertip search may turn up pointers to her whereabouts. They're also working on the theory that Sarah may have struggled with her abductor and left some clues behind. This morning, the man leading the search, Detective Superintendent John Stainthorpe, showed reporters a pair of shoes identical to the ones Sarah had been wearing.
If she has been abducted, they could well now have been thrown away, or even more importantly, if there's been a struggle in some vehicle, they could still be in the car, either one or both. And someone may have travelled in the car since and found these shoes or seen them. And if so, I would like to know about it.
Reaction among neighbours to the possibility that someone local may have abducted Sarah has been one of extreme apprehension.
Well, the little girl goes to school with my little girl. The sister is in the same class as her. They both go to the same school, these two little girls. It's frightening, isn't it? That's all.
How are you treating your children after this disappearance?
Same as I've always treated them, not out of my sight. You daren't.
You know, so it must have been someone that she's known, really, and trusted. That she's gone with them.
That must have caused some problems in the community here.
Because, I mean, a stranger would have been, someone would have seen, you know, and said, well, we don't know these people around here, they are strangers. So it sounds to me as if it is someone that has been local.
Feeling around here is terrible, terrible. Everybody's upset about it.
However terrible the possibilities for the people of Morley, as the fingertip search goes on and as door-to-door inquiries continue, police say the absence of clues and the lack of any sighting of Sarah do lend weight to the theory that she may have been abducted by someone in the community.
Sarah Harper in Morley near Leeds today. 10-year-old Sarah was abducted from near her home in the Peel Street 3 months ago. She was later found dead in the River Trent near Nottingham. Today's service was held at the Salvation Army Citadel, where Sarah was a choir girl.
They came from all over West Yorkshire to mourn the 10-year-old who disappeared from a street near her home almost 3 months ago. Among the mourners, members of the search teams who'd combed the area, and senior detectives from Yorkshire and Nottinghamshire who still hunt Sarah's killer. The little girl sang in the Salvation Army choir here. Today, the close-knit community gathered in the street outside to remember her. As they did so, there was a reminder of the massive police operation still underway. Detectives have already interviewed 7,000 people. There was just a chance Sarah's killer was among the crowd. After the funeral service, Sarah was buried at a brief ceremony in Morley Cemetery.
Robert Hall reports.
They came from all over West Yorkshire to mourn the 10-year-old who disappeared from a street near her home almost 3 months ago. Among the mourners, members of the search teams who'd combed the area, and senior detectives from Yorkshire and Nottinghamshire who still hunt Sarah's killer. The little girl sang in the Salvation Army choir here. Today, the close-knit community gathered in the street outside to remember her.
As I have said, we live in an evil world, a world that doesn't seem to appreciate human life. And yet society must be protected. Young people and the elderly must have their freedom. They must not be prisoners in their own homes and environments. So our close and friendly community has had to cope with this tremendous ordeal, believing that God has made it clear to us that this world, yes, marred by evil, is not our final home. He has something much better for his children. That place is heaven.
There was a reminder of the massive police operation still underway. Detectives have already interviewed 7,000 people. There was just a chance Sarah's killer was among the crowd. After the funeral service, which included a poem dedicated to Sarah, her mother Jackie and 9-year-old sister Claire joined the cortege as it passed slowly through the streets to Morley Cemetery. Among the graveside flowers, this simple message from Claire and Sarah's brother David, which spoke for thousands all over the country.
A jury...
A funeral for a child is surely the saddest of events. For Sarah's mother and family, today came after weeks of grieving since the little girl disappeared.
And so we meet this morning to pay our love and our respect to young Sarah, who was tragically promoted to glory. Jesus loves me.
Congregation all united in grief, aunts, uncles, cousins, and of course a little sister. The detective leading the hunt looked on as the cortege set off for Bruncliffe Cemetery and a final farewell.
Gone, in perfect notes of innocent child praise that delighted the heart of God, silenced. Like a lark torn from the early morning sky, long before her love song was near ended.
That's why I said Teddy in there.
But somebody... Well, it's a new one, or it perhaps is?
No, it wasn't. It was a new Teddy. It was lovely. That's happened what's happening to her. They want to picture in there with that. No, George, when we come down last night, they were just gangs.